Thank you for taking a few minutes to review this work. I'm Stuart Hoffman from the University of Vermont Health Network. In this brief presentation, I'd like to share with you a new perspective on the systems we use to determine admission status. This project examines whether the structure of those determination tools contributes to operational friction. Admission status decisions influence compliance, reimbursement, and denial exposure. As denials increase, the workflow burden on physician advisors has also increased. The structural question is whether opacity within decision logic contributes to that burden. In many systems, we apply criteria, assign status, and only later reconstruct the justification if challenged. That retrospective defense process is where peer-to-peer calls, documentation rework, and appeal cycles accumulate. The shift proposed here is architectural. Instead of applying proprietary logic and defending later, what if the evidentiary pathway were explicit at the moment of decision? In traditional systems, clinicians apply proprietary criteria and only reconstruct the justification later if the decision is challenged. Because the decision logic is opaque, that process requires trained reviewers to interpret charts line by line and translate clinical documentation into criteria logic. When the logic is transparent and linked directly to validated risk models and evidence, those relationships become machine computable. The determination and its justification can occur simultaneously rather than retrospectively. This framework has 5 layers: structured inputs, validated risk stratification, explicit evidence mapping, visible regulatory overlay, and auditable output. The key difference is that the evidentiary pathway is visible. In the case of pneumonia, proprietary workflow may reach the same clinical conclusion, but a transparent workflow calculates PSI and CURB-65 scores, displays risk percentile, links directly to validation literature, and applies the regulatory standard at the same time. The difference is defensibility. The clinical conclusion may be identical. What changes is that the evidentiary pathway is visible and the justification is generated at the moment of determination. When those relationships are explicit, the system can map clinical documentation directly to evidence thresholds rather than relying on retrospective chart interpretation. Architecture, not diagnosis, is the variable. This proposal includes a prospective comparison between standard workflow and transparent workflow, focusing on operational endpoints such as time to final status and peer-to-peer frequency. This is not a claim of clinical superiority, nor is it a proposal to abandon proprietary systems. It is an architectural transparency proposal. As payer analytics and regulatory scrutiny increase, auditability becomes increasingly important. Operational architecture may need to evolve accordingly. This framework is at prototype stage and requires prospective validation. I welcome collaboration and critique. Thank you.